Hello, good morning. Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
And this is our Recharge and Restore class on this beautiful and sunny Friday morning or anytime thereafter. Thanks for joining us.
You got it.
Let's get started.
Yeah, we're going to start with those basics like the breath. We do have our chair or that ottoman or that object to balance with off to the side. And we'll start by sitting and talking about sitting just like last week. So if we could all just be a little bit intentionally slumpy, and if we're intentionally slumpy, maybe that looks like this. Then pull the femurs into the hip sockets, which creates a little extension of the lumbar spine, and it pushes your sternum or your rib cage forward. Let that relax and just go back to the slump. But then repeat by pulling into the hips with those femur heads, tipping the tailbone back, and pressing that sternum forward. Relax. Let's do that one more time, but I'll face forward as we continue. I'll be sitting here on the edge of my chair, pulling in those femurs, pressing the hips forward. Active hip flexion. From here, a couple breaths. Lauren likes the box breath, and we'll continue to work on that here today. Hands can go bellies or anywhere that's calm for you. And with your mouth lightly closed, take a 4-second inhale into the belly. Breathe in. And then exhale. That's two sides of the box. Those other sides are when we hold. We'll take a breath in for 4 seconds, starting now. And hold for 4 seconds full. Slowly exhale over 4 seconds. And maintain empty for 4 seconds. Repeat a breath in for 4. This time we're going to hold for 6. A little quiet, and that's okay. Exhale for 4. And hold empty for 6. Now breath in for 4, one more time. Holding for 4. Exhaling. Holding empty. And resuming. Like usual. Some wiggles. It's a lot of work. Play with that box breath at rest, during sleep, or prior to sleep, or here on Fridays or most days as we train. From the seated position, extend one leg out, dorsiflexion at the ankle. Take stock of where the femur head and those quads or kneecaps are lining up to. Keep them pointing to the ceiling the whole time, namely the kneecap, I guess. But at the foot ankle, turn the foot in to the center and continue to draw a circle, getting the lateral border of the pinky side of the foot to touch, and then sweep across to the ballet point. Then dorsiflex on the ankle, pushing the heel along the floor. Next, evert on that ankle towards the lateral side. Keep the kneecap pointing up, and again, looking to connect that pinky side of the foot. Connect to the point, dorsiflex. Let's repeat that one more time. So we'll go to the inside first, little figure 8, bow tie pattern here. Pinky side touches, points, dorsiflex through the middle. Then that lateral movement to the outside, pinky side also touches, return to the ballet foot, and then our dorsiflex. Wiggle out those toes, bring that underneath, and just repeat on the other side. Extension on the knee, kneecap pointing to the ceiling. From the dorsiflex position in the foot ankle, take the foot, shining the sole to the middle, and then the pinky to connect first. In the middle, pull back up, dorsiflexion on the ankle, and then eversion. As the foot ankle goes out, the hip knee almost goes in. Look for those spirals for strength. We point. Then we dorsiflex, and one more time, we'll turn in. Lateral border touches towards the ballet point. Follow dorsiflex. And then last time here as you reach out to the side, keeping the knee joint as our stability joint, pointing through the foot, dorsiflexing, wiggling the toes, and then placing down. From here, grab onto the back of the hamstrings, but sit tall. Let's pull those hip flexors in. Grab the back of one set of hamstrings here and just help flex that hip. With low effort at first, could you close the gap between the calf and the hamstring? Bring the muscle belly of the calf to that hamstring by gently squeezing on the knee. Then use the hamstrings as a brake and gently now extend at the knee. If the leg lowers because the hip flexion is too much, that's okay. Get full extension on that knee, and then nice and control, curl or flex the knee, bringing the heel towards the buttock. Repeat one last time. Use the hamstrings as a braking mechanism and the quads to extend through that knee with control, dorsiflexed or plantar flex foot, either you choose. And then with that tension and control, maybe a little bit of a shake, bring the heel towards the butt and then return to the floor. Repeat on the other side. Assist with those hands, and if we are extending the knee and slumping back as a consequence, lower the leg, maintain the position of the core. 2 hands on the back of those hamstrings, flexing the hip, supporting with the upper body. Gently start to close that gap, heel towards buttock. Feel some tension on the hamstring. Keep tension on the hamstring as we use the front of the leg now to extend the knee. Lower as needed, maintain your core, and with that tension and control, initiate that pull back towards knee flexion or heel towards buttock. For the final time, feel tension on those hamstrings, and then nice and controlled, we'll extend through the knee. Hold 1,000, and nice and control, bring the heel towards the butt, hiccups again, and then return to the floor and a little shake. Whew. Now the simplest, easiest, most challengingest, all those words can fit in here, seated challenge. Sitting on the edge, pull those hip flexors in. I'll place one foot real heavy on the floor here, and with the other, bracing the upper body, placing the ankle on top of that knee, minimizing all the twists and turns that might happen. If that's kind of crazy, you can just wiggle your leg out, help yourself a little bit with that upper body, and make sure that's a comfortable enough position for you to start. Now, at that ankle, turn it down. Then place a hand on about where that big toe starts at your foot. With resistance, pull your foot up. Pull your foot up.
Into your hand.
Into your hand for 8 more seconds here. Can you feel the arch work? Feel some tension build, and then slowly relax. Then bring the toes all the way up to the ceiling. Now place your hand on that lateral border of your foot, and this isometric, without moving, press from the ankle foot into the hand, creating tension on these lateral muscles of the lower limb. Work, 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 and then slowly relax. Do that one more time as you bring it towards the floor in a dorsiflex position for today. Pull up. Create tension on the arch. Stress it just a little bit. Avoid the Charlie horse, and then slowly relax. And then for the final one in that dorsiflex ankle, so the foot is turned up, hand placed on the lateral border of the pinky side of the foot, and then without really moving it, shore up the tension and slack by pressing the pinky side away, or that eversion action through the foot. Relax. With control, just return that to the ground and repeat on the other side. I showed off my easy leg to crossover first. Looked pretty tough for Lauren. I know this is a tough movement. Be patient. Check it out as you need. So firm up, tension full. Take that ankle just about to here. And then a little bit of that overcross for now is fine. Drop the ankle towards the ground. Hand places on that medial border of the foot. And for up to 10 seconds, we're aiming to bring the foot from down here back up into a nice straight line as if going through the lower limb again. Relax the tension. Turn the foot up, hand towards that lateral border, and without going anywhere, create work as you press, and maybe you feel that all the way up here in the hip as you're pushing into that hand at the foot. Ease off the tension. Let it go to where it's been before as it turns down in that dorsiflex position. And again, this isometric of pulling
everted
up.
Position?
So currently, let's pause for a second. So currently we're kind of everted out in a dorsiflex position. And then the hand goes on that medial border at the big toe. And we're creating tension to go up. Lauren doesn't know what to do because I often do this for her while watching TV. Check, 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 3, 2, and then relax. And for the final one, we'll bring that up, then hand goes on pinky, and from here, press out. It doesn't have to move, but hopefully again, we can feel some activation all the way up here in the hip by just pressing that foot into the hand. Ease off the tension, wiggle toes, return. I've done an awful lot of talking. That's not abnormal. So we're gonna hand it over to Lauren and go into those Captain Morgans and some hamstrings.
Come on up. Using your same chair or ottoman apparatus, we're gonna start with our Captain Morgans. What we're gonna do is standing in front of your box, gently bend one leg so that your quads remain parallel. And then pull that leg up into its hip flexion, keeping the foot tight underneath. Roll over your ottoman or box and place your foot down on it. Adjust as needed there. And placing your hands on the hips, gently hike that hip up and then pull it down to level. And repeat, hike the hip up and pull it down to level. Now tilt the tail to the ceiling or arching that low back, and then use your core and tuck your hips back under, squeezing your back butt cheek as well. Do that one more time. You'd be spilling the punch out of your belly button, and then you're tucking under, just level that punch bowl back out. With the level hips, level punch bowl, gently drive your top leg into the step. Drive it down. As you're driving it down, think about pulling this leg up off the floor like you're gonna step up, but don't go anywhere. For 3, 2, relax but stay. Next, pretend to lift this bent leg off of the step. Squeeze your standing leg, extended core, and then fake lift off. Keep pretending to lift it off for 5 more seconds. That hip is pulling into its socket. 3, 2, soft down. Let's do one more of each. Tall again, level hips, ramrod straight leg, drive down into your step. As you're pushing down, you're kind of feeling that back hip extend, but also pull up. For 3, 2, relax, readjust. Last one, straight standing leg, fake lift off. Go. Foot is in concrete, trying to lift it out. For 4, 3, 2, relax, stay. Drag the foot off, press the leg back to be parallel, and then extend at the knee.
Sometimes all I need to do is pretend.
Shake it out. Concrete, cement, whichever one. All right, bend the single leg, quads parallel. Pull that leg through and place the foot on your chair, ottoman. Hands on hips, gently hiking a hip up, spilling the punch out, level the hips. Hike it, spill it, and then level it, pop it. Tilt the tail to the ceiling or spilling forward, and then tuck the tail under by squeezing the glute. One more time. Tail tilts, tail tucks, let's stay there. With that bottom glute squeeze, kneecap pulled up, hips and shoulders square. Gently, what do we do first? Drive down. Push down into your step. Go. You're pushing down. This hip is extending. For 4, 3, 2, relax but stay. Fake lift off. Here we go. Ramrod straight, active but fake lift off. Keep pulling for 5, 4, 3, 2, relax. Switch it one more time. Pushing down as if you're gonna go up. Feel that power go all the way into the butt cheek, that extended hip. Relax. And last one, fake lift off, go. Try really hard, harder. 3, 2, relax. Bend the knee, brushing it back so the quads are parallel, and slowly straighten. Great, shake that out. We're gonna do our standing hamstring stretches. So what that means is you'll stay where you are. Bending a leg. We'll bring that leg up again, and this time we'll extend it and let it rest on whatever you're letting it rest on. From here, let's go through our hips again though. So we'll hike a hip, excuse me, I'm just gonna give both profiles here. We'll hike a hip and then pull it down. And one more time, hike it, pull it down. Tail tilts to ceiling. Ooh, probably get a little more hamstring. Tail tucks under. Maybe get a little more front of hip. One more time. Tail tilt to the ceiling. I want you to keep that tilt today. Not huge, exaggerated, but a little bit of that tail tilt. Now, the heel might pull towards you a little bit as you pull that leg into its socket. Dorsiflex the foot even more, so pull the foot towards the shin. From there, maybe adding a little hip hinge, meaning your hips are going back as your spine extends forward, and then come back to tall. Let's do one external rotation in the socket, so you're thinking about bringing the inseam of your pants towards the ceiling, and then back to center, and then try to internally rotate that leg or hide the inseam, and back to center. One last time. External rotate, tall, tall, center, internal rotate, tall, tall. Then let's drag the foot towards us, lift it off, return it to parallel, extend. Same thing, second side. Bend the knee, pull it through, straighten it, let it rest. From there, we hiked and we pulled down, and we hiked and we pulled down. And then we tilt the tail to the ceiling, and then we tuck the tail under, squeezing the back butt cheek. Repeat again, tilt the tail to the ceiling, now stay there. With that tail slightly tilted in the hips level, leg again might pull in the socket a bit. Dorsiflex the foot even more if you can, or pull it towards your shin. Gently adding that slight hinge forward if you want, the spine staying extended, the tail staying long.
Barely hinged.
I know. And then release that just a little bit by standing up. Gently do your external rotation or inseam to the ceiling. Back through center. Internal rotation without changing your belt. Back to center. One more time each way. As you do this, check out your foot and your ankle. Back to internal rotation. Is your foot and ankle staying in line with that knee and not doing more work than the hip? Back to center. Drag the leg off, keeping it bent. Brush it behind you, straighten. Excellent. Little ribs?
Yeah, get those ribs going.
I'd like to do this also seated. So from your seated position, chair, ottoman, Chesterfield, sitting on the edge of your box and up tall in that nice extended spine posture. We talked about feet planted with your arms across your chest. Let's start by keeping our head in line with our sternum and rotating our upper body one direction, making sure your knees and hips still face the same way. And then pull yourself back to center. Repeat the other direction. Chin and sternum stay in the same line as we rotate, and then unrotate back to center. This time, let's send our head first. Head looks over his shoulder, then upper body rotates to meet or get close to meeting it. Head and shoulders come back at the same time. Other side. Head rotate, upper body rotate to meet, hips and knees forward, and then both rotate back to center. That was nice. Now let's think a little bit of an up and an over feel here. Get up by extending through the core, not shrugging the shoulders. Lift up a little bit. Rib cage away from hips. Then think over a little wall, pulling back up to center. Little up if you're not already there. Little over and back to tall. One more time each side. As I say over, I mean thinking of almost shoulder towards hips versus coming outside
over,
of that
not out.
Telephone booth. Yeah. One more time. Up and over and back to center. That's nice.
Making room.
One more and then we'll move on. Flexion, extension. With the chin slightly tucked, add a little bit of a round to that upper back. I want your blades to stay in relatively the same place the whole time. So put them somewhere and keep them there. From this round position, keep the core braced as you lift or extend the heart chest forward. So now I'm behind you and I'm putting my fist or my knee into your upper back, trying to get you to extend. And then gently come forward again. Relax your shoulders. There we go. Good. Brace on your core, keeping the chin slightly tucked, but then try to extend. That movement coming from the upper back, not the head neck. It's not going to be huge. And relax. Hello, ribs.
Little seated cat-cows.
Excellent.
Awesome. Keep your balance aid at your side. Let's stand up. Core braced. Shake it out. Balance aids, as we just said, or at least I said, and onto some leg bars. We'll do it twice, once with a straight leg and then once with a bent knee. And then Lauren will take it over with those other ball sockets as shoulders. Balance aid at your side, feet in parallel for today. Point the leg out front with that external rotation in the hip. Internally rotate once, just like Lauren did from standing, and then externally rotate, inseam up. Take the leg from the front, round it out to the side. Repeat that same in and out as we turn the inseam down, an internal rotation on the hip, and then out. Do one more in as to hide the inseam, and then from 3 o'clock or 9 on the clock, reach towards 6 straight behind. Then flex over those toes and bring it forward. Now let's bend that knee, quads in parallel, and then flex the hip. Bring the knee forward. We have that anterior tip of the hip to increase our hip flexion. Then we'll bring the knee out to the side. Hips nice and level. Then internally rotate here as the foot goes up, the inseam turns down, and we extend and kick around the back. Hug that knee to the leg now as we pull into center and extend the leg at the knee. One more time in reverse as we'll flex the knee. Tuck the hips under as a posterior tuck of the hip as we extend or kick back. Now bring the sole of that elevated leg to the instep of that standing leg knee. The knee will face lateral, the foot underneath the hip, pull to center, extend the hip to quads parallel, and straighten the knee like it's easy, but it probably wasn't. And the wiggles, we'll switch sides here. Switch your leg, use your balance aid here. You can do it in the middle, but make the balance aid available to keep the hips level. Low and then high, or straight leg then bent. Single leg to the front, that tendu action. We have that external rotation in the hip to start, so let's turn it in as to hide the inseam. My cue here is I always need to push the other hip forward as I do that, then we'll turn out of the hip. Then bring the leg to the side, and we'll repeat the internal rotation as we hide the inseam to the floor. Then show the inseam up or forward, keeping the hips pushing forward. Then turn in on the hip one more. Then reach from those lateral positions on the clock face to behind you at 6. Flex over the toes, bring forward. Then we'll bend on the knee, keeping the quads parallel. And then from here, flexing the hip. We have our tailbone tucked to the back as we flex the hip in the front. The foot stays underneath and the knee goes open to the side or second. Then we lift up gently, the heel goes up, the knee might go down as we extend the hip, rounding out the back, and then hugging in center, quads parallel. Extend the knee for a little reprieve on those hamstrings. And then one last time, nice and tall, we'll bend the outside leg. We have a posterior tuck of the hip, and we'll extend to the back, and then lift out and around. The foot goes underneath the hip, the knee wide, and then bring the knee to the front. Extend the hip with parallel quads, and then straighten the leg. Tall, 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 and wiggles, wiggles,
Whew.
wiggles.
Excellent.
Some shoulders.
Some shoulders. All right, standing with your hands at your sides, palms facing forward. We've been working our A-W-T-Y letter alphabet game. We're now going to work some shoulder extension. So right now I'd like you to take your blades and gently retract them together. Pull those blades together, pinching a pencil in between them, and then let them relax. Let's do that one more time. Retracting those blades. Now I want you to retract them, but not like you're crushing the pencil, just where they should be. Straighten your elbows. Palms are forward for now. With straight arms, gently start reaching behind you into that shoulder extension. Once you get to where you're going, hold. Straighten your elbows. Keep power reaching out of those fingertips. Retract your blades just a little bit more. Now could you lift a little bit higher with those straight arms for 3, 2, keep your blades pulled together as your arms return to your sides with control. Once they get to your sides, then gently relax your blades, shaking it out. Let's do similar, but this time with our palms facing backwards. First, retract those blades and put them in a place where they should be. Straighten the elbows. Gently extend the arms behind you. Nice straight elbows. Once you get to your end, hold it, making sure our abs and our core are braced. Now retract the shoulders a little more together at pinch, and then try to lift just a little higher, keeping the elbows straight. Now hold the blades where they are as the arms return to the sides. So the blades are still pulled together, arms return to sides, and then gently relax. Shaking that out. Very nice.
Shoulder extension, reaching back. Again, that extension there to help us go towards overhead. Little clocks, we talked about those clocks. Let's just stand in our center position and either feet in our parallel or first. Let's just reach out to the sides. This would be 9 o'clock for me. And this will be 6 o'clock. Let's repeat that one more time as you go from 9 to 6. Next, let's step towards midnight or straight ahead. Use the floor, toe ball heel, and then push. Lift up, toe ball heel, and push. Was that 2 each?
No.
One more time to the front. Toe ball heel.
I don't think so.
And then push.
Sorry.
And then one more time.
I was thinking about
toe ball heel.
What I have to do next.
And push. Good. We're preparing. All right. Now from here, let's reach out to 9. Then circle to midnight, and then toe, ball, heel, step through, and just bring that leg right underneath. I might run out of room, so I might need to back up. Let's try the same thing. Point to the side.
Same leg?
Other leg, sorry. Point to the side. Round to the front. Toe, ball, heel, push forward, bring the legs together. Stay where you are or back up so you have a little bit more room, and let's repeat that. With my left leg, I'll point to 9, round to the front, toe ball heel, push, and close. And then out to the side, other leg, to the front, toe ball heel, transfer weight to that front leg, and through. Shake it out, we'll add to that coming up, starting with our bear progression in between.
All right, my cue. We're going to the floor to do our bears. We're going to hinge on our hips.
Was it an Anna?
Yeah, working on my pronunciation. Pressing those hips back into that hinge position, loading up hamstring, glutes, and core. From here, slowly walk yourself down so your knees find your hands find the floor and your knees find the floor. Let's do a quick wrist before we get into those bears. Come back up off your hands slightly with arms extended. Place through the fingers down first, and then the palms. So the full hands on the floor now. Shrug your shoulders, I don't know. Pull your shoulders down. Straighten your elbows forward, straightening them as much as possible. Gripping the floor with fingers, let's add some gentle shoulder circles. So you'll start drawing circles at the shoulders to create some weight transfers from pinkies to ring to index to thumb to the other hand, and switch directions for 2 more. Check in, are your shoulders still packed and your elbows still straight. Once you end up back in center, gently press the floor away and shake that out. All right, from here we're gonna work on some bear holds. Come on back down, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, toes tucked. Pull your shoulders down like you're juicing that orange in your armpit. Now, start pulling the floor together underneath you, like you're rippling the tiles below you. Hold, keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. Now slowly start pressing the floor apart. And press and press and press. And then come back to pulling. And pull the floor so much that if you want, you could lift your knees off the floor 1 or 2 inches and hold for 4, 3, 2, and then come on down. Toes tucked, tailbone long, lift the knees off the floor, and slowly unhinge yourself back to standing.
And tall.
And tall.
And tall. And shake. Let's come back to that movement clock progression. Open up to the side. Check. Then run to the front. Then transfer. Then that back leg, just take it from the back position now to the side. From the side to the front, toe ball heel. Push off the back. From the back, we'll rond or circle that leg around. Landing toe ball heel. And let's just shake, because unfortunately I'm out of room.
We could go backwards.
Oh man, I don't know, maybe not today, unless you know that.
A
little bit of new stuff here, continuing our education and our exploration of this movement clock. Absolutely love it. So thank you for being here. One more time, same thing. I'll have my left leg this time out and run to the front. Toe ball heel in the landing, push off that back leg and circle, half circle from the back side front. Toe ball heel, weight transfer, push off that back leg to carry forward, and then out to the side, front, toe ball heel, and one last time here from the back, side to the front, and then just assemble together. Here we go.
Practicing it backwards.
Next, okay, cool.
All right, back to those bear position holds. Using your hinge, load up hammies, glutes, hang out for a couple seconds, and then slowly walk yourself back down to the all fours position. Again, fingers spread out wide, shoulders out at ears, elbows fairly straight, toes tucked, knees under hips. Start pulling the floor together to create that tension, and let's go active lift off right away. Knees hovering. Keep pulling your hands like they're on railroad tracks towards your knees. Pull, pull, pull. Now change that image and make it an X and pull across your body. 3, 2, and then just gently relax. Whew.
Yeah.
Did that make sense? My crosses and railroad tracks?
For sure. It was really hard to do the X though. It's always hard to do that X, that seat belt, right?
Let's do it one more time. We're on railroad tracks first, pulling our hands towards our knees. Knees will hover, hold. Keep pulling parallel. Now change it. Pull across. Or I like to almost think about pulling to a center point underneath me. Hold. 3, 2, and then gently relax. Knees lift, tailbones long. Slowly extend yourself back up out of that hinge and to tall.
Do you think we can do that in backwards already? Should try it?
Let's play.
Let's play. Well, this time we'll start a little close to the camera as we'll look to move backwards. Take a leg to that side or second position. Circle out the back. And now we'll be pressing off the front foot, then pulling it in to meet. Repeat. Other leg. To the side. Round out the back. Press through the front leg to push yourself back and together. Then that leg again out to the side. Round out the back, keeping those hips front. Then accept with the back leg as we press through the front and assemble. And one last time, side, back, press through the front and assemble together. Let's just try that one more time, making it circle like all the way through. And again, we have about 12 feet of runway here.
About long.
Just about.
Yeah.
So I know that might be a little bit big for the living room, but just check it out and work on those weight transfers for some creativity and exploration. Out to the side, check. Then round out the back. Now this time we'll take that front leg and bring it full circle to the back, toe ball, heel, push off the front, circle, circle, circle. Keep those hips forward, toe ball, heel on the landing. And last one here, open, toe ball, heel, press, assemble together. And again, fun wiggles in between.
It's like skating backwards.
Ooh.
It's kind of nice. Feels good. All right, let's go back down to the bear one more time. Chop your hips back. Slowly walk yourself back out. Come on down to the floor first. Get those hands just right. Straighten the elbows. Pull the shoulders down. Bracing the core. Start pulling the floor together underneath you. Let's pull in railroad track form right now. We're pulling so hard, hands towards knees, our knees slightly lift off the floor. Keep that tension high, maybe you stay here, or you add a single leg takeoff. So just lift a foot just off the floor and then place it down and switch. When you do this, nothing moves. Keep the tension. Now put both feet down, pull back through parallel. 3, 2, and rest.
My abs are fired up.
Yeah, I think that's enough. Let's tuck our toes, keep our tail long, and slowly walk ourselves back up to tall.
Let's come back to some weight transfers, but have a little quick detour. Get out your balance aid if you need it. Let's work on some single leg Jane Fondas. Because I love Jane. Jane's a good girl, but everything Jane did was fast, or at least the things that I associate with Jane. For now, let's go nice and slow because it's harder. We'll bring a single foot up to a retiré position, ankle or coup de pied position. And from here, a single leg knee bend over that toe. Next, extend the hips to tall. Find a toe balance. Take your time, 4, 3, 2, and slow on the down. One more time on that leg. Pull up on the elevated leg to assist yourself getting lower on the standing leg. Then extend those hips through, and for 4 seconds, grow slowly, confidently up, and control on the way down. 2 can be a ton of those. Let's just shake it out, switch it out, and then we'll get back to some weight transfers. Low position, knee over toe. Again, pull or flex this hip to help go low on the other side. Then extend the hip through. Take 4 seconds to grow. Slower is harder. Speed kind of hides the need. And then slowly return to the floor. Final one, knee over toe. Work on some stability here. Extend the hip through and grow slow. Check in. And then nice and control on the way back home. Use the balance aid. I should have had one off to my side too. But again, use some of those balance drills. Take your time, root the feet, as Lauren shares with us the beautiful weight transfers.
The weight transfers.
The weight transfers.
Clear the area. All right. Standing from our first position, let's point, land not too far away, toe ball heel, except that floor. Start pulling the floor together underneath you without even bending your legs. Oop. Feel your inner thighs, feel your glutes even there too. Now keep pulling and allow your knees to bend. Hang out, hike a hip, low a hip, tuck a hip, tilt a hip. Make some hip circles, come back to center, drive the floor away to tall. Repeat again, start pulling the floor together underneath you, sink. Now this time, start straightening by one leg by pressing it away from you and sending your knee towards over your toe. Push your hips forward. Then start pulling on that bent leg and it'll bring you back, pulling on the straight leg to bend it and it'll bring you back to center. Other leg is straight, hips are forward. Pull and then press. Start pressing so much you get to that fully pointed foot. 99% of your weight is here. But 1% is still on that foot. Feel this leg nice and long. Feel the glute. 3, 2, pull across. Press over. And we're not leaving the floor yet through that toe point. 99%. 1% still here. Straight leg. Get that glute fired up. Pull yourself across. This time we'll leave that floor with that leg. Full toe point. It lifts because the glute lifts it. Hold it. Hips still forward. Toe ball heel, start pulling on that leg and then driving away. Point the foot, lift from the glute, hold, pull yourself back through center. One more time each way. Press across, hold. This time drive into the floor, extend the knee. Still keep the leg out to the side, lifted from here. Knee goes back over toe. Toe ball heel pulls across, presses away. Full transfer. Drive down, extend, hips forward. Then knee back over toe. Put the other foot down. Drive down to stand up. Shake it out. Whew.
Love weight transfers. So thank you for sharing those with us.
Anytime.
From here, let's have a little bit of a posy pose. You know, one of the poses that I comment on in the National Ballet of Canada is the attitude pose. And it's a fun little balance. So from our first position, or in parallel, let's flex a single hip. Use your balance aid off to the side if you need. Now turn the knee out, keep the knee bent, and just hold a nice balance here for about 10 seconds. Squeeze this leg in a hip extension, keep a nice shape, then bring the knee in, bring the foot back to the knee standing, and press down. Repeat on the other side. Pull up in the front, and we'll extend the knee just a little bit, turning the inseam up, and the knee is pointing towards 2 o'clock. Hold this position for a couple seconds more.
We're also trying to lift our ankle.
Trying to lift that ankle up, believe it or not. Yeah.
Believe it or not.
And then we'll pull the knee into center, return the foot to the standing leg, and down. Little fun, little pose. One more time on a weight transfer.
It's my worst pose. It's so hard for me, that one. Oh. Anyway, transfers. Let's do the same one, but add an extra balance on each side. Step out to that second position. Straight legs. Pulling ourselves low, we'll get right into our transfer right away. So push a leg to straighten, sending yourself over. Full transfer back to where we were. Transfer, extend to tall. Just hold and think about pressing both glutes through. 3, 2, knee back over toe, toe ball heel, press across. Try to do this as smoothly, as stably as possible. And hold that stability as I wiggle about. Then knee goes back over toe.
That's not why I'm laughing.
Toe ball heel. Just a lot of times people wibble wobble through it and try to advance it, but really try to be steady. Now from this extended position, can we grow up and try to find a toe balance and hold for 4, 3, 2, and then control it down. Knee goes back over the toe. Toe ball heel across, driving, pointing, squeezing, pressing into the floor, staying extended, and then growing up. Think about stacking the shoulder over top or even the heart center over top of your ankle. Control the down, knee over toe. One more time each side. Press across. Maybe the flat-footed balance is enough for you, and that's fine. Own that before you start growing. Or own level 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, and then control the down. Also very important. Knee over toe, last time other side. Slowly across, take your time. Press, transfer, extend, grow up, holding, and then control the down. Knee back over toe, come to center, drive down to press away. One thing I used to think I could do well, and then we did ballet lessons, was I used to think I could stand on my demi points pretty well. And then we did ballet, and I grew about 3 inches, believe it or not, in this position.
And the difference between doing it on 1 or 2 is also often quite different as well. Let's return to that attitude just one more time, but out the back.
Whoa. Thank you.
Standing nice and tall. Let's bring the knee to the front. Check. I don't know about you, but often for me, the place that is the most exciting in the hip bar is when we start to take that leg to the side. Things go pretty well to here. But then when we lift up that ankle, we're going to hold that attitude position for 10 seconds. Continue to push the hips through as to stand tall. And this time to finish, let's just bring a leg in and extend, and a little bit of the shake. Same thing, we'll flex the hip to the front, standing tall on, in this case, my left leg. Squeeze the glutes, pull up the kneecaps. Then the knee out to the side. Then the internal rotation on the hip is that attitude position out the back. Feel the work, the burn, but not the Charlie horse on these lateral butt cheeks as we then pull the knee into standing and extend. One more time, each side. To the front, hip flexion. open the knee to the side. The internal rotation on the hip, the foot might come up. The knee is aiming to stay at that same height, believe it or not, as we extend the hips through and lightly pull back to center and then straight. And the final effort today will flex the hip in the front. We'll open to the side, keeping those hips level. We'll internally rotate on the hip. Woo! Feel those lateral butt cheeks work for a couple extra seconds. And pull into center and extend. That was a little quick, I'm sorry. And then shake. There's time under tension poses. Woo! Create some strength, create some resilience, and explore those hips.
Excellent.
Thank you very much for joining us here today on Friday or in the archive thereafter. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, we play with our strength and progress from those crawls to some handstands. That sounds exciting. Join us. Entertaining, join us with a beverage. We'll be here all weekend long and all next week too, to stay strong, to train with you, and to always take care. My name's Ian.
I'm Lauren.
Thank you for joining. Have a great day. Train soon.
Stay strong.
Always.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.